I'm going to be showing you how to do the back of an embroidery hoop, and with this hoop I used felt. So you'll want to start by cutting out fabric around the hoop so that you've got it in a circle. And then you can see on the back you've got both your layers. I like to use 2 layers so that it's sturdy. So I got them both cut out. And then I just go around the hoop and I make sure that the fabric is pulled completely tight so that when I back it, I know that it's not loose and everything is just really firm. And then I grab my needle and thread and I just start by, it doesn't matter if the knot's on the inside or outside because you won't see this part, but I just go around my hoop and I basically do a running stitch, which is just in and out. This is like the most simple stitch you can do in embroidery, and anyone can do it. So you just go in and out through the fabric around the hoop, just like this. And then I'll go ahead and just speed up this next part for you so you don't have to watch me do this the entire time. And then at the end, I just tie it off with a knot. So I go under that stitch, that previous stitch, and then I pull it through. I do it twice so that it stays secure. And that's the first part of backing your hoop. So once you've got that all sewn, you get your felt. And I like to use felt just because it's sturdy, but I've seen people use other fabrics. But anyways, so I get my felt and then I'm basically going to trace this hoop. And I like to just put it right on the corner so that I can use more felt. So I go around my hoop with this water-soluble marker that I have. I just outline it so they know how big to use it. I really like this marker. It's lasted me a long time and definitely a fan. Would recommend. And so once you've got that traced, you can see the outline I've got. I'm just going to go around and cut out this circle. And so it should be about the size of my hoop. And a lot of times I'll find that, I'll have to probably trim it down a little bit since I measured it from the outside of the hoop. But this is basically going to be perfect. And we've got that ready. So I'm just move this out of the way. And now we're ready to back the hoop. And this is just going to help us get a nice clean finish. You'll see that some of the edges are a little bit long for this hoop since I had traced it on the outside of the hoop. So what I'll do if that happens is I'll just go around it and I'll just trim off the edges a teeny bit. And you just kind of trim it until it fits. I could have, and what I should have done is just grabbed an empty hoop and just traced the inside of it, and then I would have known how big to make this circle, but trimming it's not a big deal. And this is going to work perfectly for this hoop. So then you just put your felt on top of the back and you're ready to start sewing. Get your needle and thread. And I start by going just through the felt so that I can hide that knot there so that you can't see it if you're looking at the back of the hoop. And then I just start sewing around the hoop. So make sure you go through both layers, both the brown and the white piece of felt, and just pull the string all the way through. And then you just continue that stitch where you just go all the way around. And make sure that your felt, you're adjusting it every once in a while to make sure that the felt is in its right spot as you're going around to sew. But this is just a basic whip stitch. So you're just moving the needle around the fabric, grabbing both layers. I'll try to do a little closer view so you can see. I'm just grabbing both layers, like I said. and pulling through. Super easy. Okay, so this is my last stitch I'll do. So I've gone around the entire hoop, and I'm just going to spread out the felt to make sure it's all even and there's no bunches. And then I just tie it off. I go to the previous stitch and just go under it and tie a knot through it. And I do it twice to make sure that it's secured. And once I've secured that knot, just trim off the excess string. And there we go. You can still just move that felt around. It's kind of easy to work with, and you've got the back of your hoop and the front of your hoop. And so it's just a nice way to finish off a hoop. I think that it just looks better when it's finished this way. That's just my opinion. So hopefully this was helpful, and enjoy.